Peace. This is King Noble Black Supremacy. And I want to do this particular video to say that there should be a same gender loving agenda or a black gay agenda. There should be one. And there is one and should be one. As long as there's somebody with a particular paradigm or way of life or culture or preferences that is being suppressed or oppressed by another group or the larger group in society, being ostracized, condemned, being hated for who, what, or how they are, those individuals that represent that particular group are going to come together and formulate an agenda for the survival of themselves, their culture, and their way of life. If they don't do that, then they're not even intelligent to begin with. But if they do that, they're just simply intelligent. Not part of a greater conspiratorial group to overthrow the world or to create a new world order or something of that nature, but just for the survival of their group, of those that are like them, given the harsh conditions that they exist in society by being outside of what is considered the norm or the generally accepted way of life. So there should be a gay agenda, and there is one. We know that there is. I mean, it's an insult to our intelligence to pretend like a gay agenda does not exist. Whether you are intelligently part of the black gay agenda or the same gender-loving agenda is the question. But we know it exists. And then it becomes a question if you're consciously a part of it. Because for one, if you're a homosexual in this society and you just walk outside and you're just looking for a mate, you know, you're just looking for someone to partner up with, you know that the more gay people that they are, the more mates are available and the more chances of you finding a mate of the same gender that is to your liking and to your preference. So the more gay people that there are, the better chance gay people have of finding a mate or finding mates. So then there is an agenda there to find mates. Just in being gay is propagating and promoting homosexuality in the society by even being gay. And that's an agenda, whether conscious or unconscious. That's a part of an agenda. So to say that there's no gay agenda is really an insult to anybody intelligent. But there should be a gay agenda, without no question. As long as this society does not embrace gay people, there will be a gay agenda. If you don't want to see a gay agenda, start embracing people for making different choices and different preferences. Start embracing people's personal freedom. And then guess what? There will no longer be a gay agenda. Because they can be who they are without an agenda. They can just live in this society and be free. But as long as you will continue to target them and condemn them and ostracize them and discriminate against them, then there will continue to be a gay agenda in this society. That's a fact. Now, a lot of people have accused me of being an advocate of LGBTQ. I'm not. I'm an advocate of human freedom and human choice. Not of the particular choice of being lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender, or etc. I'm not an advocate of any of those lifestyles in particular, but I am an advocate of freedom, human freedom, and particularly black human freedom. The freedom of a people who have been oppressed by a slave master in this country. For over 400 years, we've been told what to do, when to do, how to do it. We've been told how to fuck, when to fuck, who to fuck. So I do support black liberation fully. And also, as black liberation relates to the black homosexual or same gender loving community, you can't use the word liberation and somehow escape those who have a different choice than you. A lot of times people look at the word liberation and the only thing you see people as free to do is free to make the same choices that you did. That's it. They're not free to make their own choices. They're free to make the choice that you made. And if they don't make the choice you made, there's something wrong with them. And you want to strip them of their freedom. That's hypocrisy of black liberation. So I feel that black people as a whole are liberated to do and make a lot of personal choices. They're free to make these choices. They're free to be gay. They're free to be straight. They're free to be same gender loving. They're free to be transsexuals or transgenders or lesbians. They're free to do this. That's black liberation, black freedom. How can you talk all about freedom, but these people are not free to do what they want to do? It makes no sense to me. So I'm an advocate not of LGBTQ. I'm an advocate of human freedom. I don't have any apologies for that. I think those people, black people, are free to do what suits them, as long as what they're doing is not anti-black love and is not ultimately harming other black people. Other than that, they're free to do that. And really, even when it comes down to possibly harming other black people, they're actually free to do that too, because that's what they're gonna do. That's what's gonna happen in the real world. You are free to do whatever in the real world. It's the matrix that tells you what you can and cannot do, and what should and should not be done, and all. That's the matrix. So while I might not advocate or suggest that people do certain things, in all due reality, they are still free to do those things, irregardless of what I have to say about it or what I think about it. That option will continue to exist as it exists in nature. So there's going to have to be a gay agenda, a black gay agenda, and it will continue to exist in this society. Just as though there will be a vegan agenda, just as there'll be a raw foodist agenda or a homeschooling agenda, or any type of group that is opposed by society, where this society is not openly accepted as a way of life of something that they can do. There's that group and that people are going to come together and organize and that identify with that, and they're going to have an agenda. There's going to be a polygamy agenda. There's just going to be a lot of agenda. You find these groups with agendas that's trying to get who and what they are on the table and get the respect and honor that they should get from the overall society. The terrible thing about that, though, is that since society is not open and free to a plethora of choices and don't really support human freedom, you're just free to fit into the box of whatever society say you should be. By them not accepting true, pure human freedom, what's going to happen is it forces people that are different from the masses of people to begin to impose their ideas and way of life on others just for their own survival. So we live in a dog-eat-dog lifestyle propagation reality, meaning that in order for you to accept my lifestyle, I have to propagate it to you and push it to you so that it can be respected or on the table in society, so it can be, not negatively looked upon. I would have to positively propagate it, and it ends up getting imposed on a lot of people. And that's what we fear, the gay agenda getting too strong, and they're trying to make people be gay or effeminized. It's because just to get respect from overall society, they have to overly push their agenda, and it ends up being overly pushed on people. But if we want to stop that, it's not to polarize against the gay agenda. It's to just embrace that they are and who they are and that they are, and celebrate them in their freedom to have that choice. And then they won't have to propagate and push it so hard as to invade and impose on people that are heterosexual or non-gay. And that's in any agenda. It's the same way. Embrace it. I think the fact that people choose to be gay in the freedom of their choice to be gay, it should be celebrated that that's the choice that they made. And I think the fact that people choose to be straight should be celebrated in their choice to be heterosexual. I think it should be celebrated. I support both movements. I support the straight black pride movement, and I support the same gender loving movement or agenda. I support both of them. You can support both of them because I support their freedom to make a choice as a black man or woman in America to choose to be who they are and define themselves and to be proud about the definition of their own selves, the defining of their own selves. I support that. I'm proud about that. I don't have to polarize against either one of them. I don't have to be anti-pro. I'm pro-freedom. I'm pro-black human liberation and human choice and human freedom, and I will continue to be that. You don't have to polarize. That way we'll have more unity within our society, and we'll have less cliquism and less groups and factionism within our society, because we support the freedom of choice within our own community, and we should be fighting for our freedom and liberation on a greater scale of human affairs versus going at one another within our own community for our own different choices that we made within our own community, within our own society. We don't have freedom as the masses of a people, less than to be trying to suppress, oppress people within our own race for different preferences, choices, and decisions that they have made. So I go to say that there is a gay agenda and should be one, and I'm not bothered by that, as long as the people that are gay are not distracted by their gay agenda or overconsumed by it to the capacity that don't realize the overall black agenda, and that they need to identify with the overall black agenda for liberation for black people as a whole, because then we'll have more power, more political power as a people, and not just as a subgroup or an alternative cultural group within this society. That's my word on that. If you want to stop the gay agenda, accept gay people, embrace them as something that they choose to do, and celebrate them in their freedom to do so, and make your own choices and make your own decisions. And let's come together and unify as a people for the liberation of the masses of our people as a whole. This is King Noble Black Supremacy. Join my website, www.KingNobleBlackRulership.com.